Touching Tips, episode something or other.
50, I don't know anymore. 49, 40 something?
Easter special,
Yeah.
Marathon Monday special.
Yeah. A lot of going on. Pope died. What else? Kanye West is sucking 10-year-old wieners or something.
When he was 10.
I mean, it's better than doing it now, but I don't know how much better.
You know that? Do you know he's like a fucking comedian that has a podcast, Bobby Lee? You know that guy?
Yeah.
Like, he tells a story about how, like, him and his cousin were such desperate losers when they were kids
Yeah.
that they agreed to suck each other's dicks because they were like, it's never going to happen for us.
Oh, man.
And he, like, tells that story like it's like, I'm going to continue listening to your podcast after this. It's like, it's like, dude, I got to turn you off.
Yeah. I mean, there's certain things where it's just like, you don't need to tell everyone that. That's
Yeah.
fine. You know,
And
secrets are cool.
He also
You know?
he also goes into further detail of how it like ruined his mom and like his aunt's relationship because now his aunt's like, you turned my son gay, you disgusting.
Did the kid end up being gay?
I'm not sure.
Well,
Well, you're gay if you fucking.
I mean, yeah. Well, how old were they? I feel like if you're like young enough where you're just like, I don't know what I'm doing with my dick, like I'm a kid, you know, it's like then you could have a pass. But,
I'd say it was like past elementary school.
yeah,
Like they're like teenagers.
yeah, that seems too old.
Yeah.
To be sucking dicks.
Like I
and not
remember
being gay.
I went to school with this kid in elementary school who was the fucking typical like fucking ginger red-faced fucking dork that everybody made fun of.
Yeah.
And then just one day he dropped it like, yeah, like when I was younger, my cousin and I had sex with each other. We just didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck, bro?
Was that like the middle of like science class?
I don't, dude, like even in like fucking the fifth grade or whatever I was like, what?
Yeah.
What
Did
are we
everybody did it?
doing?
It was like a record screech, like everyone just like stared at him, like, what did you just
That's
say?
what went on in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah. I feel like, you know, it's okay to be, you know, don't be dishonest, but you don't have to be totally open. Like, if you have some dark shit in your past, just keep it there. That's fine. You know?
Yeah.
Eventually, you and your dark secrets will die and no one will ever remember them. Like, just, you don't need to tell people that you sucked your 6-year-old cousin's dick, Kanye West. Like, you have enough going against you at this point. Like,
That's
what is
why-
he trying to do?
I think he's just trying, like, making clickbait, dude. You know what I mean? Like, there's
The way the tweet was set up too was just like at the very end of it, it was like almost apropos of nothing. Him just being like, "By the way, I sucked my fucking cousin's dick until I was 14."
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute, what? What was that even?
huh?
Where did that come from, man?
Have you ever seen that clip of Method Man talking shit about Kanye?
No.
They ask him something. He goes, I haven't liked that motherfucker. I saw him at a puff party one time and he was sucking dick in the bathroom. And I was like, oh shit.
Damn.
No, Meth, don't tell me that.
Well, so Method Man calling it out.
That's why I
How
guess
long
he
ago
knows-
was that?
Probably like fucking 10 years ago at this point.
So, yeah,
five
all
to
right.
10 years ago. Yeah, it was a while ago.
Gotcha. I don't
Like
know.
it's the same thing. Like you just didn't expect the tale that Method Man was telling to go there. And you were like, oh.
Yeah, you expect Method Man to be like, "Oh, motherfucker owes me $100."
Yeah.
Not I saw this motherfucker sucking a dick in a fucking bathroom. Jesus. Well, if you want to suck a dick in a bathroom, that's totally fine. To me, I draw the line at the 10-year-old, like whatever. Like, it depends. I don't know, man. The whole thing is fucking weird. Whole thing's weird.
What that like? There were some parts when Kanye was going crazy that I was like, all right, I can rock with this.
He had me with all the Jew stuff, but
Yeah.
now sucking 9-year-old sticks. It's a bridge too far.
It wasn't even like the Jew stuff. It was just more of like him willing to be like. It was almost like he was like fighting back against the Illuminati, like
Yeah.
telling you the secrets in plain sight. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And now they're just like, dude, this guy.
And now after this, you're like, hey, maybe all the things he's saying aren't true.
Yeah, like it's almost like the narrative that they tried to paint around Dave Chappelle is
Yeah.
like what's actually happening to Kanye.
Well, yeah. So I feel like Kanye was able to hide behind that for a little while, where it was like everyone said Chappelle was crazy, and it's like no, the motherfucker just didn't want to have to be your little puppet. He
Yeah.
went off and did his own thing. And then so when Kanye was going through all this crazy shit, everyone was like, well, let's remember that the last time we said a black guy was going crazy, it was Dave Chappelle, and he turned out to be fine. But then he's used up all of his goodwill. At this point, it's like, okay, never mind. This motherfucker's crazy.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So, yeah. But hey, I mean, those first two albums are still fucking good. 2.5. Like the third album was good too, I guess. But,
I still enjoy the Aziz Ansari stand up where he talks about hanging out with Kanye, and he's like, yeah, I like went into his apartment. He was like listening to his own music, and
Yeah.
he looked up at me and he goes, yo, this shit is dope.
yeah.
Like, hell yeah, dude.
Well, you've heard Chappelle talk about how Kanye was like doing like the sample on Lucifer for
Yeah.
Jay-Z. It's Kanye, you did it again. You a genius. And he was like, stop that. Rewind. Play it again. It's like, damn. He had his moments.
I've heard a few chicks like tell like I think it was on that No Jumper podcast that we were talking about last week, but
Yeah.
it's like he would have like these like, you know, like industry whores on, you know what I mean? And they'd be like, yeah, like one time Kanye had me come over and like he just had me take all my clothes off and just stand there. You know,
Yeah.
it's like all
Well,
this shit.
That is honestly, that's not my biggest fear, because I mean, I would love to be rich and famous, but I do feel like that's the pitfall of becoming that powerful. It's the Diddy shit where it's like, dude, at a certain point in time, there's only so many things you can do to another human being before you just run out of like fucking things to do to a human being, where you're just like, I don't know, man. Come dressed as like, you know, the fucking cast of Three's Company and butt fuck a circus clown. It's like there's nothing else. You've reached all of the fucking the horizons at that point, like sexually, with like just whores who just are willing to do almost anything, you know? Not saying that I condone somebody, you know, fucking, you know, raping dudes in the asshole or
In
fucking,
clown
or sucking
costumes.
fucking 11-year-olds' dicks, but I at least can wrap my head around it, you know? It's like,
I can wrap my head around it, but I'm still at the point of like, it's like watching somebody litter.
yeah.
It's like, why are you doing that? What are you doing?
Well, that's just it.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't need I don't gotta have a girl show up in clown makeup and peg me. Like, I'm still.
You might. That's what I'm
Nah.
saying. You cross enough bridges, man, and eventually you come to the darkest road.
I don't think
Like,
so, bro. I think I'm just gonna keep running back and cross of the bridge of the things that I like.
I don't know. How many times can you see it happen, though, before you're just like, maybe it is fucking just the way it is? Like, it can't be, you know, like, sure, there are probably a number of people who, like, end up being a normal functioning person, but for the most part, if you're, like, an over-sexed, like, the kind of famous person from an early age, eventually you turn into a fucking weirdo. You
Yeah.
know?
I guess.
It's inevitable. You know, how many fucking famous people end up like dying because they like were strangling themselves while they were like having sex? You know, it's like at a certain point in time, you come to the end of the line where you're like, there's nothing else. I now have to almost murder myself every time I come.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's quite a daredeviling feat.
Yeah, the jerking off or like
Hanging yourself and jerking off at the same time.
yeah,
like the
David Carradine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and the lead singer from In Excess.
Yeah, yeah.
Those are the only two-
Hutchinson. Yeah.
Those are the only two people I know that
I'm sure they're not the only ones.
have fallen victim to their own.
Yeah. Yeah. It kind of makes you want to try it. You know, just how good could it possibly be? There you go.
I feel like I would be like the whole time I wouldn't be able to get a full chub because I'd be like worried about getting caught. I'd be like, dude, if I fuck this up, people are gonna be chatting.
Yeah.
People are gonna be chatting.
Did you hear about Wilk? He fucking killed himself.
Yeah.
How did he do it? It's like, well, he was jerking off with a belt around his neck.
He kicked the stool over and he couldn't get it back.
He's hanging by his neck in his fucking closet.
Ugh.
Fucking cum all over himself.
I think that's how they found fucking homeboy from David Carradine. What was he in?
Yeah, Kung Fu Legend Continues.
Yeah. He was like in a closet,
Yeah.
like hanging from
Yeah.
like the fucking
He was a fucking character though.
like the rack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever hear
Bro.
the story about him taking peyote?
No.
So David Carradine, I mean, at that point in time, like he kind of like faded a little bit in like the 80s and 90s, but like, you know, the late 70s, early 80s, like he was like one of the most famous TV stars in the fucking world. Like he was like Kung Fu The Legend Continues was like that was a huge show. But he was just like taking peyote one night at like a Malibu beach party or something, and he breaks into like another like mansion, like, you know, his hands all bloody, he's like bleeding all over the place because he like busted out the window. And he goes to like the piano or whatever that's in the fucking like foyer of this house, and he just starts playing the piano. And then like the people who live there, it's like, you know, in the middle of the fucking night, they come downstairs, there's just blood everywhere. David Carradine butt naked playing the piano in their foyer. It's just like, what the fuck is going on right now? But yeah, he was a fucking character.
I don't think I feel like I always compare this guy at my other job that comes in. He's like a regular, and he's like a creepy old man, and he has like the same haircut.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's this guy.
Yeah.
And I saw that guy.
Well, you probably had some wild times too.
I saw that guy in the line at the airport today while I'm going through security.
Yeah.
And he's like, "What are you doing here?" And I'm like, "Remember all these talks where I tell you that I bartend at the airport? This is what I'm doing here." And so he's got a lady with him, right?
Yeah.
This guy comes into my bar all the time. He never has a lady with him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's always like a creep. Like, he's even a little creepy towards kids, creepy towards fucking ladies. You know what I mean? It's like the dude's
What do you mean creepy towards kids?
like, he'll like give them rocks.
Okay.
Like, he'll give them like a shiny rock or something like that. And you're like, bro,
why are you carrying around rocks?
because you're creepy towards kids and you fucking found like a scheme that works or some shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, I remember one time he was like, there were these girls at the bar and like they were young enough where like I ID'd them.
Yeah.
I don't fucking ID anybody. You know what I mean? Like, I don't give a fuck. So
Yeah.
like they were young enough for me to like ID
They
them.
had to be like 21 in 2 days. Yeah.
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 Or like they were 20 and I didn't even bother to look at the numbers on the ID. I was
Yeah.
like, you're bold enough to give it to me, you pass.
I do that
Here you
all
go.
the time.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not reading
I'm pretty
that
sure
shit.
as long as they give you something, you have something to fall back on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
22 years, it hasn't gone wrong yet. So
anyway,
knock on wood.
they so he's sitting there and he's all like, oh my, and this dude's like fucking 70 something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He still thinks he's cool. He's got like a ponytail. He rides a motorcycle sometimes.
Okay. Red flags all over the place.
Do you want to hear the biggest red flag?
All right, yeah, hit me.
Old fashioned every time.
Oh,
Fuck you.
God.
So
Oh.
anyway, so this guy's always in. All right, he's at the bar, right? And he sees like these younger broads, and he keeps telling them, "Oh, if I was your age back in the day when I was younger, the things I would have done." Da 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 da. And I'm like, bro, like you're like 60 years older than this
Like
broad.
to them, like he was saying this to them sexually?
Yeah, like if I was your age or back in the day, if I saw you when I was a young man or some stuff, like I'd be
Ew.
all over you. You know what I mean? Like he's trying to give them compliments, but you're being a fucking creep.
Yeah.
Right. So I see this guy
It's like, take a play off.
in the line at the airport.
Yeah.
I'd never seen him with a lady before. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? He's always in there on the prowl being sketchy. I see his lady. She's got like a fucking Xena the Warrior Princess haircut, right? She's got like
like
short
the bangs.
She's got short hair on top with a fucking buzz cut on the side, and it ends in like a mullet or like a rat tail or something.
All right.
You know what I mean? Or maybe not even Xena. Maybe like the chick from Conan the Barbarian.
All right, yeah.
Right? Like some shit like that.
Brit, what the fuck is that lady's name? Yeah.
Red Sonja.
Yeah, Red Sonja. Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm like looking at this lady's fucking stupid haircut, right? And I'm like, Jesus Christ, like and I'm like, fuck, how come I never seen this broad before? Then we go through security together, right?
Yeah.
He has like metal in him or some shit, so he's got to go through the other thing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So now I'm past security waiting for my bag to come through, right? His lady's standing right next to me. She starts talking to me with her hands. She's one of these ladies that like hasn't cut her fingernails in like I don't know how long,
Yeah.
bro. Like these
She
things,
has like coke nails on every nail.
bro,
Yeah.
these are not coke nails. These are not stripper nails. This is a fucking beak of a fucking toucan,
Oh man.
Like-
it curls?
bro. Like,
Oh God.
and this is what I thought, right? I was so fucking grossed out by it, and then I
Yeah.
thought, fuck, I gotta text Lana about this because I'm like, have you seen this broad before? I've
Yeah.
been waiting on this guy for like 4 years now. I never seen this broad before. What the
Yeah.
fuck? So it's way too early for me to text her, right? So I'm like, fucking just
If I can stop you for a second. So he's like 68, 70 or whatever the fuck. How old is she?
55.
Okay, so like kind of still older, but not like really, not like sort of age appropriate. Okay. All right, continue. Sorry. I wasn't sure if I was picturing like a 26-year-old stripper or like a 68-year-old like weird old lady.
You're like a 50-year-old like biker lady.
Yeah.
Like she was like probably
She was younger, but not like ridiculously younger.
yeah.
Yeah.
And she wasn't fat or anything like that. You know what I mean? She
Yeah.
wasn't ugly. She just had a crazy haircut
Yeah.
and fucking talons.
Yeah. All
So
right.
I'm like, yo, what the fuck?
So you texted Lana?
So no, I didn't text Lana, right? So I'm sitting here, I'm like, I gotta text her about that, but I'm just like, fucking, what the fuck, dude? Now I just keep thinking about it. And they were painted red.
Yeah.
Like red, dude.
Yeah.
Like I can't get the image out of my head, right? And so I'm sitting there, I'm like walking there, and I'm like, you know what, Ryan? Here's something to be thankful about. Because we talked about this happening to me on a few different occasions of me getting like mollywopped or bait and switched You know what I mean? By
Yeah.
a porn star or something that does like gay shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like I can still see this burned in my head of like this porn star like riding a dude's dick, but that dude is riding a dude's dick. You know what I mean? Like I
Sounds
can
like a
see,
sandwich
yeah,
kinda
like
thing?
it's like
Yeah.
stuck in my fucking head, and I can't get out of it. And for a few short hours at the airport today, I was so grossed out by homegirl's
That it
red
actually got
nails
rid of that?
I never thought about that like all day. And it wasn't until now that I'm like, oh yeah, I can see it again. So I'm thinking about that. Right, I'm thinking about gay stuff right now. Just so you know.
Well, I was gonna say,
I can't
so-
stop myself.
What she should do is she should go to all those camps that like supposedly like cure people from gayness and just be like, look at my fingernails. You'll never think about
I'm
being gay
not
again.
gay no
Yeah,
more.
Exactly. I've been delivered.
Yeah, so then I did text Lana about it, and she was like, "Oh my god, can you imagine all the fucking bacteria that's under those and shit like that?" And I was like, "Yeah, I
I didn't even
absolutely
think of
can."
that.
And then she's like, "I bet she gives a mean hand job." And I was like, "I know this is a joke, but I was like, I imagine this is like getting my dick off by my." Dick bit
by bit
by
dick
a
off?
bird biting my dick off. You know what I mean? Like,
Hey,
I tried to fuck that ostrich in the mouth, and it ended horribly for me. Like.
it's good.
Jesus Christ. And this motherfucker, he took her to Jamaica.
Yeah.
That's my island.
That's
like,
your
you're taking
place.
her to Jamaica. Like, all these black people are going to be like, what the fuck,
Yeah.
dude? They're going to think she's a witch
Yeah, probably.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Raz is getting drowned out there. Yeah. I can't ever look at it that without like thinking like, how do you even like do day-to-day things with fucking nails like that? Like,
Yeah.
you must just constantly be like walking around like palms up like that. Like, or like what
I don't know how
happens
you
when
wipe-
one of
how
those
do you
fucking
wipe
things
your ass,
break
bro?
off? Yeah, what happened? Yeah, how do you wipe your ass? How do you do fucking anything?
Like with the little thing that you pick garbage up with, like you just put a fucking,
Like the claw thing that you had
good.
fucking as a kid.
it's got like
Yeah.
a dinosaur head on it
Yeah, the ones that like
that you get from Roger Williams Park when
Yeah.
they bring the animatronic dinosaurs through.
That's good. Yeah, that's fucking so gross.
That's wild. That brings me to another. I was like, oh, what other weird stuff have I seen in my life? I used to wait on this fucking biker dude when I worked in Florida, and he had like all these like fucking, skull rings and shit. Like
Yeah.
he, literally from his ankles up, he looked like somebody you didn't want to mess with.
Yeah.
I wait on this guy for a few, and then one time I come around the bar, you know what I mean? No, maybe I got food in my hand, I'm dropping stuff off, and I happen to look down, and this dude has flip-flops and a full-fledged French manicure on his toes,
What is a French manicure?
like with the white line on the top,
Oh, yeah.
like a real, like, you know what I mean? Like, not like he just had a clear coat
Right,
on his
yeah.
stuff, which I've hated on people for doing that anyway.
Yeah.
That's a lot less suspect than what I'm talking about. Like,
Yeah.
this dude has full-blown girl feet.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
I don't know.
And you're like showing them off with your like your hardcore exterior. Like you're looking for a girl with crazy fingernails. Strap one on and
yeah, probably.
show you who's boss.
Lay into you.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Yeah. I don't know. Do you have like a daughter or something?
I hope so.
Yeah, you better have.
I hope his daughter. I hope he had an Asian daughter that took up doing that, and he was just the practice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could have been.
She could be whatever. She could be whatever race. I didn't mean to take it to the Asians and the nails.
Well, I mean, it's if the shoe fits, you know. Yeah.
How about this for another gross thing? Where is all of the shit going?
Like in the world?
Yeah.
It's going in the ocean.
Nah, bro.
Yeah. That's where it all goes eventually. Yeah. It's like Nemo, man.
So they filter all of the Duke out of the water at the water treatment facility plant, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you're driving to the airport, you can smell it.
Yeah.
So you're just left with this.
Oh, so you're talking like all the actual physical, like fucking, yeah, they probably just,
All of the shit.
there's like a leaching field probably there.
all of the shit, piss and cum, like that
Yeah.
has to be like a physical pile
Who's coming in the toilet?
of stuff. You coming in the shower, you're jerking off in the shower, you pissing in the shower.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I piss in the shower.
I mean, the pipes-
I've probably jerked off once in the shower,
The
but
pipes
it's
all
not fun.
The pipes all go to the same place.
Yeah.
To the water treatment facility,
Yeah.
right? And I'm supposed like we can't even like as a country like collect taxes the right way.
Yeah.
And I'm supposed to believe that this water coming out of the shower
this is being
has
disposed of
been
properly?
negated of all of the shit, piss, and cum that
Yeah.
we've put into the water supply. I need answers.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean,
And if it's going in the ocean, bro, I'm never going to the beach again. We can't just be pouring that in the ocean.
Well, I mean,
There's no way, dude.
well, I mean, like the physical, like actual solids, I don't think go to the ocean. I think those end up in like a leaching field of some sort or
Yeah,
whatever.
but what the
all
fuck?
the
Where
water,
does
like,
that go, bro?
yeah.
It's gonna turn into a leaching mountain at some point.
Well, it's just waste. It fucking decomposes. You know?
I don't know,
Biodegrades.
man. No
you know?
way, dude.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
bad news, bro.
We got to get to the bottom of this.
That's bad news.
Yeah, I don't know. Too many people waffle stomping in the shower.
Oh,
Yeah. Do you have any thoughts on the Pope dying?
not really.
No, I don't either. You know what it is I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone really. I think that's maybe a hot take, but somebody at the bar though was like, "Well, I hope they get like a guy who's like younger or whatever," because I feel like you only got to be Pope for like such a short amount of time. It's like you don't want a 32-year-old Pope. Speaking of like the
Didn't this last guy say that like being gay and shit was all right?
well, I mean, I think kind of,
I think he did.
yeah.
He was like, "Our numbers are dropping, bro. We got to get some of these homos
They do.
going back to church."
Church in general, the Catholic Church needs to fucking have a serious revamp of their ideals if they're going to be surviving into the 22nd century. That's for sure. But no, fucking. But yeah, it's fucking same thing though with like P Diddy and all these dudes. It's like you don't want a 32-year-old Pope, man, because you don't want that motherfucker like with that kind of power for 48 years, man. That's how shit goes wrong, you know. You want some fucking guy who's on his best behavior for most of his life so he can try to be the Pope and then get to be the Pope for like 7 years and then clutch his chest and fall over dead. Like that's ideal. Like this is the system working perfectly, you know?
I just think it's funny how people are like they're like treating it like a presidential election. Like, oh, I hope there's some good candidates in the mix this
Yeah,
time.
exactly.
It's like, dude, there's a bunch of these guys are all fucking retired child molesters. Like they'd still be fucking kids if their
Pretty
dicks
much.
worked. You know?
Well, that's just it. Like basically everybody who's going up for it right now, it's like, all right, so when did you get into like the papacy? Like in the 70s? It's like that's like fucking
Yeah.
that was like the time to be in it, you know? Like everybody in there was fucking kids at that point, you know?
I feel like we need like a robot Pope. We need like Bender from Futurama to be
I mean, we
like,
probably will at one point. Fucking AI.
yeah.
Yeah. That's probably what we should do. We should just relinquish all control to everything to fucking machines, Terminator style.
Dude, I had a guy that sat down today and he like asked me for a manager so sternly that he reminded me of like T-1000, like looking for John Connor.
Yeah.
And
Have you seen this boy?
And in my brain, I was like, lie to this man. Lie to this man. He's a cop.
You probably got somebody killed.
No, well, the manager was like standing like right off to the side. And I just kind of like looked at him and I was like, did you hear this motherfucker? Like, looking for the goddamn police? Like, do you want to be the police? And he was just like, and then he started talking to him and I didn't catch like whatever the problem was. I think it maybe he like I heard him say 1728 or something like that, and that's how much like a Bloody Mary is. So maybe like somebody put the total in the tip part of it or something. And you got like double. Maybe his bill was like $34 when it only should have been 17. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something like that. But he had like he had all these papers and stuff. He's definitely like a lawyer of some kind. You know what I mean? He takes
he's out there trying to fight some fight. Yeah.
Yes. And and as soon as he walked away, I told my manager, I go, that was a T-1000, bro. It was fucking.
It's always funny when you can like run into somebody who like you could tell they like have geared up and they're ready for an argument, and then like you just completely deflate them by like just giving them exactly what they want like right off the bat.
Yeah.
It's like anytime like I've had that happen where somebody sits down at the bar and they're just be like, the last time I was here and blah blah blah. It's like, all right, yeah, what do you want? You want a free drink? I'll give you a free drink. And they're really like, all right, but I want to be mad still.
Yeah.
It's like there's no reason to be mad.
What do you want? You want me to suck your cousin's dick?
Like, exactly.
What do you want me to do? God damn.
Anyway, yeah. So where are we going from here?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I put this on the list. Did you see that? Can you see that? Will
What,
it zoom?
the Bill Belichick? Yeah.
Can you see his cake?
Oh, what does it say?
Who gives a shit? I was like, even if I wanted to be mad at Bill, I was like, look at that. He's got a 27-year-old. He's got a fucking girl on his arm, younger than his granddaughter's probably.
I don't understand that. I really don't. Like, when I'm an old man, the last thing I'm going to want to do is hang out with a fucking 24-year-old girl. First of all, not for nothing, Bill, but your dick probably barely works. So it's like, just What?
And he's like fucking fat. Like, you ever see Belichick rolling his whistle around at camp? He's got like bitch tits hanging out through
Yeah.
his t-shirt and stuff. You
Well,
know
yeah,
what I mean?
he's a fucking 72-year-old man.
Yeah, but I just
you
think
know?
that's like the two best coaches, like Andy Reid and Bill Belichick. They just don't believe in being physically fit themselves. They're like, you guys get out there and run, but I'm gonna be a fat piece of shit.
I'll be over here eating fucking the pump nacho cheese from the fucking.
I'll be
concession
over here
stand.
eating 27-year-old pussy. If you guys need anything from me, she'll be slamming it into my face.
Yeah,
Who gives a shit?
yeah. I don't know. There's just nothing I want to do less than talk to a fucking 24-year-old girl. Like,
Yeah, I mean, we
that's
talked
as-
about this
that's
last
as a
episode,
41-year-old
like-
man.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, like that girl that just wouldn't shut the fuck up last week. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, no shit.
What about did we talk about that fucking track meet not wildness last week?
No. Oh shit. Yeah, the fucking. Are you talking in Florida, like the Florida
Yeah.
State? Yeah.
Like, so I watched like a deep dive on this, and apparently it was like a bunch of schools in Florida together, all at a track meet.
Yeah.
It started raining out, and then this kid was like taking shelter in somebody else's like tent, like like a tailgate tent, like you know
Yeah.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So I guess they
Like
had
a pop up.
Yeah, they had like a bunch of those set up, and basically it was like two twin brothers telling like two white twin brothers telling a black kid like, "Yo, you got to go. This isn't your tent or whatever." You know what I mean? And it's like, to me, it's like, dude, like, just be nice. Like, why are you telling the kid to get out there in the rain?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But to me, like, if I look back at it, like, if you're in like high school sports, like that's like the gang that you're in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're like, get these fuckers out of here, you know? And so I guess the kid was like, he had a backpack with him, and he was like, if you touch me, you're going to regret it. And he like motioned like he was like he had something in his bag. You know what I mean? And I don't know if they started like, fucking, you got to go, like pointing in his chest or whatever. He just takes a fucking knife out of his bag, stabs the kid in the chest, and the kid ends up dying in his twin brother's arms before they can like do anything about it. You know what I mean?
Did the twin brother feel it?
I don't know.
Like G.I. Joe style?
Whoa. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tomax and Zammot.
Yeah.
You don't know anybody's name from G.I. Joe.
I don't.
You like those action figures that look the same but are a little different? So yeah, I don't know. I saw the dad, and this happened in Texas.
Yeah.
So like the dad's like talking to the news with like a very Matthew McConaughey type voice. And he's saying, I already forgive the guy that did this. You know what I mean? My faith is in the Lord, blah, blah, blah. And then he like tells the tale of how like his son died in his twin brother's arms and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so now there's like a race war in Texas about this shit. And they had a press conference. The black family had a press conference. And basically the white family showed up to it, and they had to be like asked to leave. So apparently like the kid wasn't a thug. Like he's got like good grades. He was like very forward with the police, saying like, I did it, but they, you know what I mean? It was self-defense, blah, blah, blah. So I don't know. It's going to be a crazy criminal case.
Yeah.
It's like OJ all over again.
Yeah, I mean, but at the same time, if you're not allowed to stab people in the chest. So that's, kind of day one stuff. Anyway.
What about Red Dog, bro? You remember Red Dog?
I do remember Red Dog.
Who is their parent company?
I don't know. I assumed it was like Anheuser-Busch or something, no?
I believe it's Miller Lite.
Was it?
Whoever owns Miller Lite.
Yeah.
I don't think Anheuser-Busch owns Miller Lite. I think Miller and
Yeah.
Coors are owned by the same people.
Is that like Ipswich? Or no, no, that's right. It is Ipswich now owns Anheuser, I think, right? It's like a fucking Swedish company or some shit.
No, the company that owns Stella's parent company is who bought Anheuser-Busch.
Yeah. I think is it not Ipswich or something, or Ip something?
InBev or something
InBev,
like that?
Maybe that's what it is, yeah. I think I'm thinking of a fucking town in Massachusetts. Yeah. All those fucking shitty beers. I used to be like a shitty beer connoisseur. Fucking Red Dog. You had fucking, remember Black Label? Meisterbrow. You remember Meisterbrow?
No.
No? Schaefer? All those fucking shitty fucking
What about all the
Peels?
ice beers? You remember all those?
Oh, yeah. Molson Ice.
Yeah.
Fucking Natty Ice. Those beers, you would drink like 4 of them, and your mouth would be so fucking dry that you would literally like, you'd suck a dick for a bottle of water.
I think we like got out of the ice beers. Like I was still drinking Smirnoff Ice at that point. And then like the next year, I started drinking real beers.
Yeah.
And I don't know why we didn't drink ice beers anymore after that.
Or Labatt
I think it's because
Blue.
we had, like, freshman year, you're, like, spending your scholarship money on beers. You know what I mean? And then, like, sophomore year, you're a little more of, like, a balanced adult. And you're like, oh, I can drink expensive beer now.
Yeah.
I can do whatever I want. Got my own money.
Yeah, we fucking, me and my buddies took a trip to Montreal when we graduated high school. And when we were there, we bought, like, fucking 10 cases of fucking Molson Ice to like just have in the fucking hotel room. And I don't think I've ever been so fucking hungover in my whole goddamn life. Waking up the next morning after drinking like Molson Ice for the entire fucking weekend, it literally felt like every bit of moisture was pulled from my fucking body. Like I was like squeezed like a sponge.
That's the worst hangover you've ever had is on beer?
Well, I mean, and other things. I was in Montreal, so it was mayhem. But yeah, that was probably the most hungover I've ever been. Like driving back from Montreal. I was so hungover that I was supposed to be the one driving, and I was just like, there's no fucking way. Like, I'm gonna kill us.
Yeah.
Like I'm still kind of drunk, and I'm gonna throw up like every 450 feet at this point,
I was like, I have two different worst hangovers ever.
Yeah.
One of them is in college. We kept the party going. The only thing that was left was a bottle of Southern Comfort, and we decided to play beer pong with it. And we didn't like adjust the levels of the beer to be
you're just
liquor.
drinking Southern Comfort, like,
and I swear it took me like 3 days to like get over that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I went down to Florida to see my boy Peter off to get married. And we're drinking at the wedding, and they put up like a bunch of like lemon drop shots or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And these are like lemon drop shots that are probably like citron vodka shaken up with like bar sour mix that doesn't need to be refrigerated.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I didn't even remember drinking these things, right? So next day we're at like the post-wedding brunch, right, at Bonefish Grill. And I'm fucking dying. We had like one little pinner joint left, and my buddy's like, you have to have this because you're dying.
Yeah.
I go and smoke this thing. Doesn't help me out at all. I'm fucking going to the bathroom, throwing up and shit. And this little girl, there's little girls there and stuff, little kids, whatever, from the wedding. You know what I mean? And she's like, Mister, how come you're so sick? And I was like, oh, I don't know, hon. You know what I mean? Just not trying to say nothing. And she goes, well, my mommy said it's because you drank all of the drinks at the end of the night. And I was like, what? And then I like start like thinking about my night, and I'm like, oh yeah, they made like 12 lemon drop shots, and nobody wanted to take one. And your boy was just like,
she just
bang,
ripped 12 shots
bang.
at the end of the night.
I don't know if I got all 12 of them down, but
yeah, that's tough.
And literally, there was not like I don't know why I wasn't like smart enough just to be like, just start drinking again, Ryan.
Yeah.
Like, what is your fucking problem? Like, you're dying. Just start drinking again. There's no weed to help you out. Like, that was it.
Yeah.
And then finally, I feel like I had to go to the airport later on in that day, maybe around like 8 o'clock at night or something like that. And at like 5:30, I was finally like, all right, I can crack this beer and get my day going.
Let me try and get level here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think really the most hungover I ever was, I probably had given myself alcohol poisoning, but I was only like, I think it was like 16 or 17, whatever. But it was that time with Yukon Jack in the fucking woods, where we all it was like a group of like 5 of us. We all went out there with like a handle of Yukon Jack and then other booze or whatever. But I, of course, had to ruin everyone's good time and like drink the like fucking handle of Yukon Jack like almost immediately. And then it just turned into me and one other buddy. And then the other 3 dudes like left us there in the middle of the woods because they were like, fuck you guys. Like, we're out of here. And then I fell asleep in the collapsed tent. But then waking up, I literally had like puke all over myself in the collapsed tent.
Oh, man.
And then me and the other guy who like we actually stayed there. We didn't have a car at that point, so we had to walk. It was like, first of all, deep into the woods. So we had to walk out of the woods to the street. And then from the street, we were on the whole other side of fucking town from where we lived.
Oh.
So from there, it was pre-cell phone. So we had to walk from fucking there. We went to the gas station, and between like the 2 of us, we pooled all of our resources. It was like 97 cents. So we went in there and we were just like, can we get how much like liquid can we drink for 97 cents? And the guy like literally gave us like a Dixie cup and then like put like slushy into it, and we like split a lime green slushy like that much, and that had to like get us like home basically. Like it was like another.
Please fill this up with tap water.
That was the most hungover though I probably ever was. But yeah, it was just like fucking every mile and a half we would just like stop, and I'd be like, I'm gonna throw up. Yeah, good stuff. When you got sober, did you like work a program at all, or did you just like stop drinking like without anything? Like, did you do AA or anything?
I mean, you want to know about when I quit drinking?
Or yeah, well, I don't know.
Well, I feel like I quit. I quit doing a lot of drugs before I quit drinking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
like I had
You
gone
had that base.
I had
Yeah.
gone to rehab for like pills.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I'm not doing pills anymore. But the whole time I was in rehab, I was still very like, hey, just so you guys know, I'm never quitting smoking weed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not doing it.
Yeah,
Like, I don't.
California sober.
I don't
Yeah.
care how mad you want to get about it. Like me and my dad had like a big falling out about it. Like we didn't talk to each other for a while just based upon how I wanted to do my recovery.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think that's understandable though, given the circumstances. Like for the way he felt. Like you were coming across like I can handle this, and it's like we've just gone through this whole thing
Yeah.
where you couldn't handle
Well,
it.
his
you know?
whole thing was like he just had like this idea of a drug dealer in mind, where like you go over somebody's house and they have all of the drugs. It's like,
Right.
no, I'm just going to the weed man's
Yeah.
house now. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm not going to the guy's house with the gross toenails anymore. Like I'm done with that part of my life.
Yeah.
So I kind of had those tools. You know, I went to rehab for like sometime between like 7 and 10 days. I forget how long I was in there exactly. And then there was either like a week or a 10-day or a 2-week long like day program that you went to. And it was kind of just like almost like school. Like, hey, this is what's happening to you. Like you're, you know, dealing with depression by doing this and blah, blah, blah. And here's how you don't do it and shit. And I was like, all right, bet. Like I'm never coming back here again.
Yeah.
But I'm smoking some dope,
Yeah.
you know? And then I don't think that I had realized really that I had I had the problem with alcohol because I don't think I would ever, you know, there would be a few times where you got too hammered or something like that. But it's like, bro, I always had my money right.
Right.
So it's like you get fucked up. It's like, let's get a bag of Coke and fucking come back to life. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like you're never that far down the fucking so shitty you can't get yourself back up, you know? And yeah, I got into a point where I had a run in and I had to like adapt to this on the fly. Like basically I had a hard truth face me that said you're choosing the way that you want to live your life over like you're valuing this more than you're valuing like your marriage.
Right.
And lucky for me, like I had that awakening moment or whatever, eureka moment, whatever you want to call it. And I said, oh, fuck, like I'm going to lose my relationship if I don't make a change in my life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then I kind of had all those tools that I had learned from quitting drugs
Right.
to now say, all right, I'm all set with this. And
Yeah.
basically, like I just had, you know, basically like a gun to my head of like, I just thought that if I didn't quit drinking, I was going to lose my marriage. And like, that was enough for me to like straighten up
Right.
and like adhere to the program. You know what I mean? And I think the only thing that I really, that I'd say really used like as a crutch was like NA beers.
Yeah.
Like I would have like St. Pauli girls after work and that would scratch the placebo itch of like crushing a beer or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, and then eventually I got off the St. Pauli girls because I started hating on like the empty calories. And then I would just start drinking like a 500 milliliter like Pellegrino or something like that. And
Yeah.
between like the carbonation and like sucking up, I was always a bottle beer guy too. Like give me a shot of whiskey and a bottle of beer. So like sucking that half a Pellegrino down almost gave me like the placebo effect of like,
Yeah.
you got the carbonation,
The satisfaction.
you wrap your
Yeah.
lips around the neck of a bottle, gay, and
You know, just sucking something.
and that was it. Yeah. But yeah, really, like I don't think I ever if I
Well, so-
didn't know how good of a wife I had and had been triggered to the point of thinking like you're fucking this all up, I don't know if I ever would have got it together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it took me realizing I was going to lose the best thing in my life if I continued down this path
Right.
to be like, I got to knock this off.
Yeah.
You
So
know?
for you though, it wasn't so much that you were an alcoholic. It was just kind of you were a fucking piece of shit when you were drinking, basically.
Yeah, I would say I was an alcoholic.
All right.
I would say that I was doing the same exact things that I was doing with the drugs.
Yeah.
I was
Channeling it into that. Yeah.
self-diagnosing and treating my depression with the booze.
Yeah.
And eventually like I will say I took up going to like a weekly therapy thing.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like a psychiatrist. It's like whatever the thing is below that.
Yeah, just
like a therapist.
Counselor.
Yeah.
Counselor. Yeah.
So I started seeing this guy, and shout out to my man Steve. He never really tried to say, hey man, like, you sure it's not the booze? You know what I mean? He kind of like let me figure it out on my own. And one thing about therapy is like, you go there and you kind of talk about what your problems are. And if you're, I don't know, if your brains are kind of built like you and I's are, where it's like, hey, I had a rough night at work. What can I do better to fix this next time?
Yeah.
Like you have that,
that tendency.
Let's fix this kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's like you end up going to therapy and you're like, yo, I've been telling this motherfucker the same shit for like a month.
Yeah.
Like, how long am I going to tell this story for before I figure out what the fuck the problem
Yeah,
is? You know?
exactly.
And eventually,
Like, I'm tired of telling it. I bet this motherfucker's tired of hearing it.
yeah. And so through that, you know what I mean? I'll say, you know, feeling like I was going to lose my marriage and therapy, like 50-50 was like what got me to be like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Here's my eureka moment. I don't want to do this anymore. This isn't good for me. It's not getting me anywhere. You know what I mean? Like, and that was that.
Oh, that's good.
Because I used to come, dude, I would come home. I would have a rough night at work. I would fucking be very upset about the payout not being worth the fucking squeeze. The assistance from everybody else that made just as much money as of me not coming through.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All that shit. Then I'd go have some drinks about it. And then I'd come home all fired up. And my lady would be like, how was work today? And I'd be like, yeah. And it would just be like, you know what I mean? Like, I have nothing positive to add.
Yeah.
I'm just mad, upset. I'm not making enough money. Like, who the fuck, what? You know what I mean? Everything is wrong.
Yeah.
Like, who wants to be around that person?
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't know. I'm just, like I said, like, I look back at, like, the people that were my friends years ago, and I'm like, what were you guys thinking? Like,
why are you even hanging out with
yeah,
me?
what, you fucking like that guy? I don't even think I like you because you like that guy.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
So I was the opposite with my wife, where I would be drinking and I wouldn't be talking about anything that was going on in my life, but that would just mean then that I wasn't talking at all. So like, then like something would happen that would fucking set me off. It wouldn't even have anything to do with like, you know, obviously her or whatever, but it would just be one moment, one thing where just all of a sudden then I would just fucking blow up on that. And, you know, now I got like little kids and shit. And it's like, you know, I don't want them to fucking remember me like that, like screaming to fucking, you know, shit. So, you know, it just kind of came to the point where I was just like, I didn't enjoy drinking at that point. It was just one of those things where I just kept doing it because that's just always what I had done.
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't think I personally didn't think I was an alcoholic. I definitely was an alcoholic by the time I quit. It just, to me, I wasn't in a good mind space to be drinking because I felt like, you know, I needed everything I could to fucking hold back the anger inside. And then anytime I would drink, like it would just like seep through the cracks.
Yeah.
And it was getting harder and harder to keep up that fucking dam, you know?
Yeah.
Where it's like now all of a sudden, even when I'm not drinking, it's starting to seep out, you know? It's like, well, yeah. So it just got to the point where I was like, I need to fucking calm this shit down. I also got to take a hard look in the mirror and figure out why I'm so fucking mad all the time. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I'm glad that you said that because I feel like, all right, like, I'm always like the harshest voice inside. Like, you can't say anything to me that I haven't said to myself 10 times worse. You know what I mean? And so maybe, to me, like, when I think about, like, a true alcoholic, like, that's, like, somebody who's, like, their life is falling apart.
Right.
Like, my life was fine. Like, aside from, like, maybe my relationship with my lady and my relationship with myself. You know what I mean? But my finances were in order. You know what I mean? Like, I had clean clothes. I would go home every night. I wasn't, like, sleeping in an alley.
Yeah.
Like, I do have some friends that are like, yeah, bro, you didn't know when to call it a day. Like, you didn't care if you passed out drunk in an alley. You know what I mean? Like, I still at least would find my way home. Like, I'd say, okay, fuck, I got to get out of here.
Right.
You know, where some of these other guys I know, they, like, if they got to that point in their head, they'd be like, let me get another fucking whiskey on the rocks.
Right.
You know, like, and it's like, I've tried to be there for people like that in the past. Like, I have a buddy, I don't know if you worked there at the time when it happened, but he came in, he had a seizure one time, and the paramedics had to take him out and shit. And then he came in and he had another episode where he had to leave, and then we finally had to ban him.
Yeah.
And then I finally was like, you know, I went out to breakfast with him and I was like, yo, man, like, and also, this is one of those motherfuckers that worked at Joe's American Bar and Grill who definitely knew about this motherfucker being a pedophile.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you were
Gotcha.
still like, nah, he's cool to be in the fantasy league.
Yeah.
So it's like, yo, like, maybe I have some good karma for trying to help this kid, but it's like, you were letting this pedo fucking run free with no judgment. So, I don't know. He seems like he got his shit together and, like, dried out, but it's like, That's a real alcoholic. Like,
Yeah.
this kid drank himself into he had a seizure so bad they had to take a piece of his brain out. So he was like
shit.
rolling around without a piece of his brain until the swelling went down. And
Yeah.
then they were like, all right, let's put your head back together.
Yeah.
Like, so maybe I wasn't an alcoholic. I was on the fucking swirling around the bowl of depressive fucking,
Yeah.
you know,
Well,
like,
yeah, so that was more of it for me because it's like I don't think I was an alcoholic. It was just alcohol wasn't solving any of my actual problems.
Yeah.
You know? So it was just making
I
it
was like trying to treat the condition with the wrong potion.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, that's why I quit drinking. But yeah, like there was never a moment where I like woke up in a fucking dumpster behind a fucking bar or something. But it was just, you know, there's only so many times you can come home drunk and then like be mad at everyone and fucking or go to a fucking family function and just like be a dick. That was actually honestly that was probably my worst trait. Is like, you know, I'm kind of like a fun dick. You know, in normal circumstances, I'll fucking like zing you a bit. You know, I'll every now and again I'll probably take it a little too far, but I'm quick to be like, oh, I'm sorry, man. But when I was drinking, I would just fucking I would like look for things in other people to be like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking tear this motherfucker down.
Yeah.
Like honestly, it like ruined me and my brother's relationship for a while because it was like we were all throughout my 20s, like in our drinking days, we would fist fight all the fucking time, and it would always start with me being like, "You're looking kind of heavy today, you fat bitch," you know, like you know, like you fucking receding hairline motherfucker, still talking to fucking 19-year-old girls, you fucking loser, you know, it's like. Took you 5.5 years to graduate college, you fucking piece of shit, you know? Like, that's always what it would, like, devolve into until, like, we would just, like, start fucking beating the shit out of each other. But, yeah, I was an asshole. I was a fucking asshole. So it's just like...
you started piling on. I was like, did you ever get him with the, how come you can't have a son?
Well, no, by then I was pretty much in the clubhouse for the most part. Yeah. Like, I didn't... Well, I mean, I guess I kind of was drinking then, too, but, yeah, I don't know. The older we got, though, the less I was just, like, directing it towards him. Honestly, just the less I saw him. So, but then it was just getting to the point where I was, like, directing it towards, like, the people in my household, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I would just say things to, like, my children where I was just like, why would you ever say that to a child, you know? And then I'd have to, like, live with that for the next, like, 2 weeks. But, yeah, it was just, you know, it just got to the point where I was just like, this isn't doing me any good. So what then am I even doing it for?
Yeah.
You know, because I was never the kind of guy either that like I never enjoyed the taste of alcohol. I drank to get fucked up. Like I was all the only reason I did it. You know.
Yeah, like I wasn't sitting at a bar like staring at the bourbon, being like, "Can you believe the complexity of of the notes?"
Yeah, I drank cheap, shitty beer because I wanted to drink a lot of them, and I drank cheap, shitty booze because I wanted to get fucked up. That's what I did. You know. You know. I was never like I'm gonna drink this fucking. 1997 Bordeaux, and I'm gonna, look at the legs on this wine. It's like, no,
shut up.
Yeah, give me a fucking bottle of Dubra,
dude. Speaking of terrible, ugly drinks, I saw this shit. It was like a reel of like a snobby server like wanting an espresso martini.
Yeah,
and like, what do you like if you work in the service industry? What do you not put in your espresso martini because you're so fucking cool?
What do I not?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I would ask them if they want Baileys or not Baileys.
Yeah, but like if you're a pretentious, like cool bartender,
you don't put Baileys.
You don't know. Like I want a black espresso.
Yeah.
So basically, it's like this person making like they put a little bit of vodka, a little bit of Kahlua, some espresso, and then they murder the thing with Baileys. And it's just like this guy being like,
yeah,
like everything is like, oh, and then at the end, bro, this is the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen. They put beans in it, but it's black beans.
What do you mean black beans?
Like instead of putting
like
3 espresso beans, they put black like Goya fucking Negra Frijoles, bro. Like I was fucking dying, dude. Like I haven't laughed that hard and I don't know how fucking long.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, this is the fucking greatest thing ever. Like I want, if I open the bar, you gotta have a can of black beans in there. Anytime somebody's pissing you off, you're just like,
throw some.
Here you go.
Yeah.
And then I was like, what other things could I ruin? And of course, it took me to the old fashioned.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck those cherries, bro. I'm putting Kalamata olives in your fucking old fashioned and ruining your life. Yeah. Fuck you. Somebody that would drink an old fashioned, though, they'd be like, this is delightful.
Yeah. Probably.
I don't know why I never thought about this.
Honestly,
a little vinegar.
Yeah. I think for the most part, dudes who order old fashions like would never even like. I think even if I was making a shitty old fashioned, they wouldn't even say anything because I feel like they're just everybody who goes in and asks for a fucking old fashioned is like basically like a beta fucking cuck. Like it's just like you're just a bitch. I'm gonna give you whatever I feel like giving you because you don't even know how to order a fucking drink at a bar. You know, anybody who I probably have said this a million times, but dudes who drink old fashions are like, the same as like women who come in and drink lemon drop martinis. It's like the same fucking person. It's like one has a dick, one has a vagina. That's it.
I had a thing on here about like, can we have a competition to see who can make like the worst old fashioned? And I was like, what would it be? And I was like, basically,
Well, you
like,
definitely use maraschino cherries. You definitely got to muddle that shit.
nope.
No? Well, I mean, you
think
still
I
have to keep it in essence an old fashioned.
Nah, bro.
You just have to use the worst of everything.
I had like the best one, dude. It was so fucking shitty. It wasn't even like, I gotta find it. Like, I think I literally just put like equal parts OJ and OJ and ginger ale with some grenadine and whiskey.
Throw a splash of soda water in there just to
Yeah.
really piss people off.
Yeah, I don't know where I put it down on the list, but oh well.
OJ Bitters grenadine whiskey. Fuck you. Someone will like this.
Oh, you found it? I just
Yeah.
can't read.
Yeah, you can
That's
just get
great.
rid.
What about you're always asking me about movies. You got Ferris Bueller's Day Off in your wheelhouse?
Fuck yeah.
So I
It's a
saw
good
this
movie.
conspiracy theory about it that like he's so like in tune with what's happening, like that they're saying that like Ferris Bueller's Day Off is really just another kind of take on Groundhog's Day.
Oh,
Because
okay. Yeah,
he,
like he's done it so many times.
Yeah,
that
like
all right.
he's like maximized like every situation. He knows.
I can see that. I mean, that's kind of how the movie is like he knows everything that's about to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he like makes commentary on it,
Yeah.
and like he has like a new love in the movie, and he talks to her as if they're like an old flame or something like that.
Yeah.
And really, it's like they've only been kind of talking for a few days.
Yeah.
So it's just, I don't know, it's just like a lot of compelling evidence that they put through. I was like, oh shit, Brennan will appreciate this.
Groundhog Day is
with
one of
his
my
movies.
One of my favorite movies. I love that fucking movie.
Dude, they had us in like 9th grade health class. They had us watch Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
And they were like,
Why?
to
Teach you about puberty.
they wanted us to like come up with all of the mental disorders that Bob may have had.
Okay.
You know
gotcha.
what I mean? And then at the end of the day, like literally like the answer that the teacher was looking for is that he just had anxiety.
That was it?
Yeah.
So you just he was so anxious that he fucking relived the same day over and over again?
I fucked up. We're talking about what about Bob?
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. All right.
That's what we were looking for.
Well, what about Bob? Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, he was just anxious. Richard Dreyfuss was kind of just a dickhead.
What else is Richard Dreyfuss in?
Jaws.
All right.
Yeah. He's in a few other things too, though.
He's not the man that hires Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman.
No, it's Richard Gere.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That would be a wildly different movie if it was Richard Dreyfuss. Richard Gere is the one that has had the fucking gerbil shoved up his ass. Remember that story?
Lemmy Winks? I know about Lemmy Winks from South Park. I didn't know that was a real fucking.
Well, I think it was. I think it turned out to be like debunked because I think it was just like somebody who like didn't like Richard Gere started this rumor and it like had legs and like. But yeah, he was basically for a long time. He was like known as like the guy who had a gerbil shoved up his ass and then like had to go to the hospital to have it taken out. Yeah, but I think it was fake.
I feel like that gerbil was like spontaneous generation out of Marilyn Manson's removed rib.
Probably, yeah.
Just a rumor,
exactly.
a rumor mill of things.
Or how Marilyn Manson is the fucking the kid from the Wonder Years.
Oh yeah,
You seen that?
yeah. That's a good one too. I still remember like reading Marilyn Manson's book when I was like a freshman in high school.
Yeah.
And he like talks about this time where he was like on stage with Trent Reznor from Nine Inch Nails, and he's like, we were just trying to like do stuff that would make the crowd freak out. He's like, so I pulled his pants down and put his like limp dick in my mouth, and I was like,
Wait, what?
what the fuck, dude? What
And
the
that's
fuck?
going up on my shelf.
Yeah.
Plus, you know Trent Reznor's dick must smell terrible. Especially
In
like,
leather pants
yeah,
all the time? Yeah,
in
it's
leather
gotta
pants,
be fucking
in
brutal.
the middle of a show, like ew.
Yeah. And he's like from Ohio.
Is he an Ohioan? Yeah.
Oh, Ohio ball bag.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Some areas of Ohio too are like very deep southy. You get like towards the southern Ohio, it's like it's very rust belty over there. You know, it's like you ain't too far from Kentucky, you know? Yeah, that's fucking gross.
Dude, I had this guy from Kentucky trying to just tell me all about Kentucky. And I was like, I
I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you make bourbon?
Yeah.
cool.
I mean, do you think
Like-
that this is ever going to end up on my bucket list? Like, I'm going to be like, I'm going to go to Kentucky.
Yeah, and like just the whole time he's like talking to me, I'm like, everybody there talks like this. I don't
Yeah.
want to fucking
Pass.
yeah. And then he's like, "Oh man, you go on these bourbon tours," and I'm like, "So like, if you go on a bourbon tour, right? Like,
Yeah.
how small of a sip of 80 proof liquor are you drinking to where you're copacetic for the entire time?
Yeah.
Like, if you turned me, like, I almost ruined my own wedding just not being able to say no to brown liquor.
Yeah.
Like, you know the point when you like get up from the table and all your friends are like, "Here, we got you a beer and everything."
Yeah.
All my friends are like, "Here's a bunch of neat pours of Maker's Mark."
Yeah.
And me, I'm like, "All right, I'm the fucking man to start." You know what I mean? It's like, but I envision that of like going on a bourbon tour, and like I would not have the self-control to like not fucking drive this plane into the ground.
Yeah, pretty much. So
Like there's no brakes on this train. There's none.
the one thing I do miss about drinking is having like the occasional good glass of red wine. And I know I just literally said that I didn't give a shit about that, but it is nice. I will say though, me and the wife went to Napa, Sonoma or whatever. This was years and years ago, like when we were dating at the time. And that fucking route, I forget what the fuck route it is, but it's basically just a highway in Napa where you just drive up and down it. And it's just like vineyard after vineyard after vineyard after vineyard. You go and you're just stopping at every one of them. And yeah, you have like a few sips of wine, maybe you have like a half a glass here and there. But if you do that, like we did it like 27 times in a day, dude, we were fucking bombed.
Yeah.
Like,
Where's
by
like where's the DUI checkpoints on this road?
well, I think whoever owns those vineyards is probably paid up with the local
Yeah.
police because nobody ever gets DUIs. But it was just like by the time it was over, dude, I was buying like entire cases of wine. Like, and the next morning I'd wake up like I spent $400 on a case of wine. Like, what the fuck am I thinking?
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, it was a blast. But yeah, you get fucking shit faced, and you want to make that fucking bourbon. Like, yeah, you'd get through 3 of them when you just be like pissing your pants.
I remember. Have you ever gone to that hotel in Warwick that they have like the Bev Expo at the Crown Plaza?
I got
or
married
whatever?
there.
Did you?
Yeah,
Well, one time when Ryan and I were both working for the spot,
yeah,
they gave him like a bunch of tickets for that thing. You know what I mean? It's like we're everything's set up,
Yeah.
right? And so it's on our birthday.
yeah. Nice.
So we're like, nice.
Yeah.
So we go there and we like purposefully avoid the fucking bourbon tent. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like I was like, I'm not going anywhere near this. I drove here. I have to drive home.
Yeah.
I think Renee was with me. Like it was it was one of the last big days out
Yeah.
that I might have had, like from my birthday. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just remember, I don't know what I remember driving home. And this is in Warwick. I'm driving back to Pawtucket or Providence or
Yeah.
something. You know what I mean? Just fucking whipping. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like not a care in the world. Hammered
Yeah.
on my birthday. You know what I mean? Just DUI fucking manslaughter
Oh, yeah.
right around the corner. No,
Yeah.
not a care in the world.
Yeah.
And then just like waking up the next day with like no remorse. Just being like, oh, that was a fun day.
Yeah. Well, that's how we used to do it.
Not
you
being
know?
like, oh, you really took your life in your hands on
Yeah.
this. You know what I mean? Like, just ridiculous.
Yeah, I've done that at a work event as well. I used to be the bar manager of one of the Joes or whatever, and they had like a meeting with all of the other bar managers. You know, it's like a New England franchise, so it's like every
Yeah.
single one of them came to one centrally located Joe's, and then from there we like dispersed into the area and like kind of hit a couple spots, did like wine tastings and shit like that. But like I got fucking obliterated, like to the point where like. The guy who's like the beverage director was like, dude, are you okay? And I'm like, dude, I'm fucking great.
Yeah.
He's like, okay. And I fucking ended up driving home. Same thing. Like I ended up, you know, at that time, me and my wife were in an apartment in North Attleboro, and she wakes up to hearing like something like scurrying in the kitchen, and it's just me in my underwear sitting in the middle of the fucking kitchen floor, like eating a bowl of cereal, like with milk and all, with my bare hands. She's just like, go to bed, you fucking maniac. I was like, yeah, but you know, we didn't think anything of it. You know, I drove a fucking car. I was in a car 18 minutes earlier.
Yeah.
Like that's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
you know?
your brain. I think your brain can just like hold it together until you get home.
No,
You know what I mean?
promise you, whatever I was doing in that car was adjacent to eating a bowl of cereal with milk.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I walked outside the next morning and saw my parking job, and I was like, not only was I not in the spot, I wasn't on the line, I was like parked across 2 spots.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, Jesus Christ.
That was like when I was drinking too. Like the worst thing you could try to do to is take my keys away from me.
Yeah, well,
Like if you try to take my keys, I was gonna have another big ass drink
yeah,
and then forcefully leave.
exactly.
Ruin my life.
Angrily.
Yeah.
That's when you're just like, you can't take my fucking keys, dude.
I remember I was fucking hammered in Florida. I think this was like at a time when we were getting out of control with the pills too. Like I think you know, you got introduced to like Vicodin and Laura tabs or whatever and stuff that was like kind of like heroin cut with
some other prescription medication. Yeah.
Not even prescription, like it's
it's controlled substance of some sort. Yeah.
Nah, like Vicodin is like cut with like it's heroin and like Tylenol or something. You know what I mean?
So it's like acetaminophen or whatever the fuck it is. Yeah.
So, you know, but now it's like you got in like a Perk 10 or a Perk 15 or something like that. And there's no cut to it. You know what I mean? It's all straight government heroin.
Right.
And like I remember I had this older roommate at the time, and I left the spot that I left because I knew I was getting too fucked up. You know what I mean? And then I didn't come home that night. And then I come home the day after that, and I had hit a curb or something. I got 2 flat tires on the same side of the car, right? So I like go into like a shopping plaza or whatever. I call my friend, yo, dog. Like I thought I was literally I'm like on the parallel road next to us. Like I wasn't even on the right fucking road. You know what I mean? I'm talking to my friend. I hit the fucking thing. I'm like, oh fuck. So I get, you know, another time where I get out of a DUI.
Yeah.
There's so many DUIs that I should have got that I never did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I finally get back, and my older roommate's looking at me. This dude's probably like 40 when I'm like 25, 24. You know what I mean? And he's like, you fucked up driving your car like 2 nights ago when you're at Krabby Bill's? And I go, yeah. And he's like, I knew you shouldn't have drove, bro. I was like looking for you, trying to like take your keys away from you. And I was like, oh, the day late and $1 short, bro. That's what I do. And I believe this kid also moved out because I would just come home blasted, and I just pissed on things. Like I pissed on the back of the front door.
Yeah.
I pissed out the back of like the sliding glass door. I pissed all over the fucking futon and stuff. And I continued on with the pissing later on into my life. One of the first dates my wife and I ever went on, we go to Boston. The Red Sox game runs late. We don't get the train home. So we end up staying at like her uncle's rental property or something like that. She takes me to the bar around the corner from there, gets me drunk enough to pass out. I wake up in the middle of the night. I am pissing in their oven, in their kitchen, bro. And she's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm acting like she just barged into the bathroom. I'm like, I'm taking
Close the door.
Yeah, but, no, because I remember her telling me this the next day. I said, I'm taking a piss. What's it look like I'm doing?
Yeah.
And so then, wake up the next day. I'm getting weird vibes from her. I don't know what I could have done. I'm so perfect. And so we're at the train station waiting. I'm like, yo, are we all right? Like, you seem like you got an attitude or something. She's like, you don't remember anything about last
night? Let me tell you about what you did.
And I'm like, clearly I don't remember that. You think I'd be acting like nothing's wrong? Like you woke hoping up, you forgot? Like, yeah.
You woke up the next morning, rolled over, and we're just like, you want to get bagels?
Yup. Yeah, pretty much. And she's just like, I can't. Like, again, like, fault on my wife. Like, why did you marry this madman?
Yeah.
What is wrong with you? And
you guys were dating at the time, right? So she
it was like one of our first dates, first official dates. She's been putting up with it the whole time. And then another time, I come home hammered. Her fucking her mom's in town for something. I don't know what it is. It's like probably close to our wedding. Maybe they're in town to do some kind of like wedding dress thing or sign wherever we're gonna do the rehearsal dinner or some shit like that. You know what I mean?
Some wedding shower bullshit or
and
something.
So I'm working a double, and I come home from work in between the shifts, right? Or I'm working a double between 2 places. I come home because I want to smoke a bong. So I'm sitting there, and it's actually this coffee table sitting right here. So I'm sitting there, and I'm looking. It's got like a center thing we keep the remotes in and stuff. And I'm like, yo, who fucking spilled their drink in this thing? And I fucking pick the remote up, and it's just like fucking dropping liquid. And I get a little hint of it, and I'm like, it smells like piss. And I'm like, leaning, I'm like, who fucking pissed all over this fucking table? And I'm like, there's only one person that could have done this. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, at this point, I'm like, yo, did anybody, like, did I get away with this? You know what I mean? Like, nobody noticed.
It's the perfect crime.
Yeah, like, I pissed all over the table last night. You guys woke up and went to brunch or something, and I got back to the place before you noticed there's piss everywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or you just thought, I spilled a drink.
Yeah. Even then, though, that doesn't track because a normal person sees that, oh, somebody spilled their drink, I'm going to clean it up. Like,
and you would have noticed
leave
the
a fucking drink there.
Yeah. So I'm like, Jesus Christ. So I don't know. I think I got away with that one. Yeah. And then there's another situation where my mother-in-law's in town. All of our bedrooms are upstairs at this apartment that we have, or this house that we're renting, whatever you want to call it. And it's basically like the door to our bedroom, like you walk out, you go directly down the stairs. And then if not, there's like a door right here. And that's where like my mother-in-law is sleeping, right?
Yeah.
I fucking just wake up and piss all down the stairs. all down the stairs while she's in that room. My wife wakes up and catches me. He's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Oh, like yelling. He's like, "There's no way that Suze wasn't like
Didn't hear.
like, what the hell's
Is
going
he
on
pissing
here?"
all over the stairs?
Yeah. And it just brings me like, I wonder if I've ever pissed like in their house. Because I haven't, you know what I mean? Like I've gone down there. My boy Wayne, we used to get, because he lives in Maryland. They used to live in Delaware.
Yeah.
Even I don't know if he ever came down to the North Carolina spot when we were there. I think he did, but we go out and get hammered. You know what I mean? It's like my boy from high school. You know, and we're not really close anymore. We had a falling out, but we would get fucked up. And like I have to have pissed in that
At least once.
Yeah.
At one point in time, somebody probably opened up like the linen closet and was just like, all of my sheets have piss on them.
Yeah, why?
Yeah. Well, hey, that happens to the best of us.
Yeah. And there's multiple other occasions in like especially when the Xanax first came around, bro. Like we would snort Xanax bars
So you're
and
just
then
fucking blacking out.
gone, bro,
Yeah.
gone, like an angry Frankenstein rolling around with no sense of fucking
pretty
morals.
much.
Yeah.
The entire front half of your brain is shut off.
Yeah. And then it was like, okay, well, so let's snort a Xanax bar and then play beer pong with like full cups. And
Yeah.
I remember being like, somebody stole my keys to my sunglasses. You just lost them, Ryan. And literally, it's like the one group of kids that were here to play one game of beer pong. Now I'm like banging on their door trying to fight 4 guys at once. It's like they'd obviously beat the fuck out of you, bro. You're like wasted.
You're barely standing.
Yeah.
Fucking stiff wind would
Stole
beat your
my
ass.
fucking stuff. And it's like, then I come back and they're like, Ryan, we have all of your stuff.
Yeah.
Like, woof.
Well, hey, that's drinking for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to. If I really sat down and wrote everything down about my wild shit, it'd probably be a good selling book.
Yeah.
Remember that book? I Hope They Serve Beer in Hell.
Yeah.
And it was just basically like this guy dishing on all the terrible things that he ever did.
Well, you'd like Bukowski. You ever read any Bukowski books?
Nah.
Bukowski is like a famous. He was a writer in like the 70s, but he was basically just like a famous drunk. But yeah, he wrote like all sorts of books just about being a drunk piece of shit. Basically, you'd love it. Yeah. Read Post Office. It's all about him working at the post office while being like an alcoholic. It's great. Anyway,
I don't know what just made me think of this, but today the airport was paging this man named Daniel Seaman.
gotcha.
Like they're gonna board the flight down on Daniel Seaman. I was like, this guy fucking killed himself. Like, You keep saying Daniel Seaman. You're telling everybody this
Stop
guy's
saying my name.
last name is Cum. Like, what the fuck?
That reminds me of there's a show on it's like a British show or whatever. First of all, you know how British people pronounce pedophile? They call it a pedophile.
Yeah.
Right? So there's a British show or whatever where this guy's name was Peter File. So they kept saying Peter File, pedophile. It's like, my name's not pedophile.
It's
Stop,
me.
Yeah, it's just like, stop saying my entire name. Yeah.
What about I might have sent this to you. You see this fucking dude that started a beta fish fight club?
No.
Like, so basically it is what it sounds like. They just started like betting on these beta fish dog fights essentially. And the kid is just like telling this whole story on a podcast. I was like, he's gonna get canceled.
Why? But it's a fucking fish.
But he's like, he like basically was like he's like, I know people are gonna say this is inhumane. He's like, but they only live for like fucking 10 days anyway, so who gives a shit?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's just like, so
are they aggressive enough to fight each other?
That's why if you have beta fish, you have to keep them separate.
Yeah,
'cause
okay.
they fight.
I didn't even know
He's
that.
like, so these guys were running a fucking Michael Vick dog fighting thing on beta fish. You know what I mean? And he's like, it got to the point to where like the 3 Walmarts around our school campus would constantly be sold out of beta fish.
Yeah.
Like, we'd be like, they got them, and we'd all go fucking buy them all and name
So
them.
it was just like a fucking herd of like 19-year-old, 20-year-old kids buying beta fish?
Yeah, and then he said that there was like a dark turn that happened though, where like the thing first started off where people were like, you could put money on your fish, yeah, no problem, you know what I mean? But it's kind of more of like you were proud that your fish was winning.
Yeah.
And then it morphed into like there were only really like 10 or 12 guys that were buying fish.
Yeah.
And everybody else there was just a degenerate gambler.
Yeah.
That was like here for like the fish fights.
I could absolutely see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see myself. Like, I don't think I would get down on the fish on fish crime, but like,
I mean, you do have a point I didn't really think of. I mean, it is kind of like, at what point in time do you just say that this is like I mean, it basically is just dog fighting. Like that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just fish on fish.
that's what Pokemon is.
Yeah.
It's just like
That's
cartoon
true.
dog fighting.
That's a good point too,
Like
actually.
Ash Ketchum is just a piece of shit
Yeah.
Michael Vick
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
like dimples.
Yeah.
And that
Well, yeah.
weird sweat bead.
Yeah, so fucking the Japanese people, they fucking like fight Charmanders, and then fucking, Southern black guys fight fucking dogs, and Cholos fucking fight roosters and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, whatever.
That still brings me back to one of the funniest things on South Park about the cock magic episode.
I don't think I know that one.
No,
Cock magic?
so they're playing. The kids have roosters.
Yeah.
And they're playing Magic the Gathering against each other in the basement of the fucking Shanghai.
Like the shitty walk?
Shitty chicken. Yeah, shitty walk. So, like, so basically, Randy gets wind that the boys are doing cock magic.
Okay.
And that's what they're calling it, cock magic. And he's like, oh, I've been waiting for this. And really, his cock magic is like magic tricks with his dick.
Yeah.
And so he's like, boys, I've been waiting for you to get into cock magic. I was the cock magic champion when I was in school. And so then he starts doing all these like magic tricks with his dick. And the kids are like, what
the fuck?
Like the one, who's this kid? Kyle. Kyle's like, what the fuck, Dad?
Yeah.
Like, so, I don't know.
That's a good one.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a piece of shit. I'd gamble on anything. I went to remember when Lincoln fucking had the dog races? I was there like all the time.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I've never been to a dog race.
Oh, I mean, they were terrible. And also they were filled with just inhumane pieces of shit.
I mean, I like those. I enjoy watching clips of people betting on dogs and horses, and then they start like hitting themselves on the ass with the papers and stuff. They're like, go, go, go.
Well,
like
things are great when people are winning, but so what was a turning point with me in my gambling, because first of all, I was never a good gambler. Like I would just lose all my money. But so during the period of time though, because I was going to CCRI, which was the Lincoln campus, which is right around the corner from Twin River. And I would go there for night classes, but I would like show up, pull in the parking lot, and by then, like I knew I was dropping out anyway. So I would like fucking, look at the time, and I'd be like, if I go now, I could probably make the third race, So I would just like head right over to fucking the dog races. I would just sit there, and I'd be like, I'd gamble on a few races, have a few beers. It was a good time. But every now and again, you saw some dude who like, the last time I was like, okay, this is the dark path I guess I could go down. This guy, you could tell he probably bet his last $8 on just some dog to show. Like he was just down to nothing. And he's like up on the glass banging on it, like as the dog's coming around. It's like, come on, come on, come on. And then, the fucking dog like runs into another dog, like ends up falling off, like, doesn't even finish the race. And he's now just like hammering the glass as hard as he can with his fucking hands, dude. Like it's loud, and he's freaking the fuck out. Just screaming over and over and over again, I got the worst fucking luck in the world, like again and again, to the point where everyone in the fucking place is like, somebody needs to get this guy, So yeah, fucking security comes down and fucking escorts his ass out the building. It's like, dude, like that dude had some fucking dark, like that's like kind of shit where like you walk into the building and you're just like, dude, I could smell Christmas not coming this year.
Yeah.
Like it's like. And that was back when it was like blue cement floors, like it was the shithole, like Twin River, or
the security guards,
Lincoln Park used to be what it was called. Yeah,
they're like, you get the fuck out of here, and you go put a gun in your mouth in your own fucking car.
Exactly. Either kill yourself or take another fucking mortgage out and fucking come back and gamble again. Yeah, that was fucking. It was one of those moments where I was like, I'm gonna not come back here for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Yikes. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, dog races, though, are fucking inhumane. You could tell those dogs were just beaten, got the shit beat out of them and were treated fucking terribly. But it was fun to watch.
What about, I don't know if I would call this inhumane, but I don't know if I could get away with it or if I could do it.
Yeah.
Would you, let's say, I'm trying to like make this. Let's say your wife's parents are out to dinner.
Yeah.
And you just so happen to show up and see them where they're at.
Yeah.
But you're only there for like a beer or something.
All right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You sit down next to them. You're just walk into the same bar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Towny spot. Walk into the same bar. Your father-in-law slides the rest of his pasta over to you and says, here, have the rest of this.
Like, would I eat it or
Yeah.
like? I mean, I guess, but that's kind of scummy. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, order your own fucking food. Yeah. Is that something that happened to you?
Yes.
All right.
And like my whole punchline to this was like, I wouldn't want to eat that food either, but it's like you are eating the pussy of a life form that came out of this guy's balls. You know what I
what?
mean? Like, this guy's balls produced the lady that you're fucking.
Yeah.
Like, so essentially, like, his little tiny piece of cum turned into this lady whose pussy you're eating anyway.
Yeah.
So, like, really eating the rest of his pasta,
It's like
you've exchanged way more DNA on this level than you
Say it's a closed
would
circle.
even.
circuit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all coming full circle. Yeah.
And I like made this is like one of my regulars.
yeah.
And we have we break each other's balls and stuff like that. But I can't remember what I said for something to the effect of something like I said. I can't remember the exact punchline that I wrote, but then he was like, "Hey, you better watch it about that." Like, he fucking flipped it. You better not talk about my daughter like that. And I'm like, this dude's fucking her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's fucking her.
Yeah.
And he's eating your pasta. That's kind of weird.
It is.
What the fuck?
Well, on that note. All right.
On that note, Touching Tips is done for the week.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you eat your father-in-law's pasta, it's the same as
hold on.
eating his daughter's pussy.
Yes.
Oh.
But I also let's leave it on this one last dumb thing that I heard.
All right.
Do you want to read it first?
What is this? The blurb? Where are we going here?
All the way at the top. A guy just told me his family's name got chopped up when they went through Rikers Island.
I mean, is he...
That's Ellis Island.
Yeah.
Rikers Island is a prison.
Yeah.
And I just had to sit there and be like, okay. Thanks for that.
Yeah. It's like,
Well,
you were wrong, but all right.
Like, if you ever see me take my phone out mid-conversation while I'm at work, I'm definitely putting what you just said to me on our list of things to talk about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, as soon as he said it, I was like, oh, I got to text my manager about something immediately right now. Like,
That reminds me,
That's
though.
amazing.
That reminds me of a guy. He sat at the bar the other day, and he tried pulling this shit where he was like, "Fuck, man, I can't remember exactly what the argument was, but it was something to the effect of, yeah, this was like that, 3 years ago." And I was like, "No, it wasn't. I work here, so no, it wasn't like that." And he was
Yeah.
like, "Well, it was." And I'm like, "Yeah, but like it wasn't. I work here. I know what I'm talking about. You don't work here and don't know what you're talking about."
yeah.
And it was just one of those things where it was like, why are you arguing with me? Like, I know what I'm saying. Like, no, God, I wish the fuck I remember what the fuck it was. It was something to the extent of like, oh, well, you guys used to be open for lunch and you had whatever on the menu. And I was like, I mean, maybe a long time ago, but it wasn't in the past 5 years.
Yeah.
No, this was like 18 months ago. I'm like, no, it was not. Just you're wrong.
It's like 58 months ago.
Just
Like,
fucking
yeah.
just say, oh, okay, I must be wrong. Just say that. Just say
No.
that. Just guy would not give an inch, and I wouldn't give an inch either. I was even like going to play like the yeah, I guess I don't know, man. I was literally be like, no, you're wrong. Like, just I'm not doing it today, man. So yeah.
Incorrect.
All right. Anyway.
All right, we got to go to work.
All right.
Love
Later,
you.
guys.
Like, share, subscribe. Please help us.
Yeah.
Bye.